Covenant soldiers are waiting to the north. Tread care... Stranger, I'm surprised to see any friendly faces out here. Did you meet any Covenant soldiers on the road? There's a small force of Covenant soldiers in a camp to the northwest. I can feel it in my bones. They're planning a flanking attack. I need to get back to Fort Arend and ready the recruits there for a possible skirmish. Shore's bones, you're a brave one. If you can make it out alive, put steel or spell to the commanders in the encampment. They're the ones most likely to have a copy of their orders. Then head for the gates of the fort. Travel to the northwest and look for Covenant activity. Find out why they're here and what they're planning. Go swiftly and go carefully. We train troops and store provisions here. Why the Dark Elves built a fort against the mountains, I'll never know. What's it protecting? The mountains? Dunmer. I'll never understand them.
I understand you were instrumental in crushing the Daggerfall army at Devon's Watch.
Captain Hyung. I'm not sure. I saw the captain approaching, then felt a sharp pain in my head. I think I heard a footfall behind me before I went down. When I came to, he was dead, and our attacker was gone. Assassins? Captain Lari should see this. She's in the command post, the largest building in the fort. Report to her, and I'll spread the word to the other troops in the fort. We need everyone on guard and watching their backs.
Well met, my fine Falar. I am Captain Lari, commander of the forces stationed at Fort Arrand. We're primarily a training outpost. I had to put the recruits on alert with all these Covenant troops nearby. What do you have there? No. Dumak, take those fetches. Hjolm, my best officer, is dead, and these plans say Ahknara is here. Of all the... We're not prepared for Ahknara. Not even slightly, Traveler. Let's talk. These Swit assassins are stealthy and dangerous. They'll probably be practically invisible with all the places to hide in here. We need to shed some light on this situation. I have just the thing. Blinding light flasks. The flasks are upstairs. Use them near the walls of the fort. I expect the killers will be lurking there. Strikes from Shadows is leading a group of our more experienced troops. Meet up with him at the tower to the east when you're done. Falar, you'll find the flasks of blinding light upstairs. Use them to reveal the assassin infiltrators. Put an end to their plans. Fort Arrand was built a long time ago, atop a set of Daedric ruins. I think the ruins were a prison for some fetching Daedra. Bevek, who can keep track of all that ancient lore? The fort is out of the way, so we use it to train troops. A few years back, a fetching big Aldmeri army invaded Hammerfell. They sacked a town and established some fortifications. They sent messages home, and the elves sent a shipload of reinforcements. The Red Guards were quaking in their boots. Not as such, Fla. The Dominion made a mistake, you see. They took captives from a Red Guard ship they managed to get offshore from their new holdings. That night, one of the Red Guards broke free and murdered every lost elf aboard. That's what they say, Fla. Over the next few days, a bunch of Aldmeri troops in the fort disappeared. A Red Guard army rolled up to the fort, but didn't attack. It just sat there, stopping the Aldmeri from escaping Ahknara's venom.
Akatosh, curse you.
Are the assassins now feeding the earth with their blood and bone? I was ambushed. Warm-blood assassins do that. They hoped I wouldn't reach these tunnels and discover the roots of Ahknara's plan. They died with that hope unfulfilled. You'll notice many Covenant troops about. I'd bet my birth mud she's opened the reinforced cap that sealed these tunnels. Clearly, she plans to lead an army into the fort from below. Long ago, this place was built to imprison Daedra. See that floor plate below the door you came through? There are 5 of those. When they're all active, a barrier will rise and imprison those within. No, there's an exit to the surface behind the final plate. I activated the first one. Activate 3 more on the way to the last chamber, then meet me by the final plate. Ahknara ambushed us. She used a flask of blinding light to stun us, then ran back through the door behind me. Were you able to activate the plates? Good. I'll activate this last one. Once I do, the other barriers on all 5 will harden like a shell. While I do this, you must slay Ahknara before she slithers away again. Venom chased after Ahknara. He'll need your help more than I do. Look for him. I'm sure he's wounded, if not dead. Once this is done, use the trapdoor atop the bluff. It leads to the command post below.
Have you dispatched Ahknara? That piece of Enchao? Ha! My fine Falar. Well done. I'll see your name is not forgotten. Ahknara, however, will be forgotten. The Dunmer reshape history to serve their needs. I'll remove any mention of her actions here, and I'll purge all records of that vile assassin. Captain Bjorn lost his life bravely defending the fort from that Covenant scum. He cut down a sword, but eventually succumbed to his wounds. That magnificent fetcher will be missed.
Have we been led into
hold
error?
There, Sarah. Hold there, Sarah. Ah, you've arrived. I've got a message for you. It's a message from Drathus Othral, the leader of the Dark Elf Quarter in Ebonheart. He sends his compliments, and he wants you to help the town resist a nearby Covenant invasion. No, he just needs you to talk. House Drez isn't popular. The Nords and Argonians in Ebonheart won't speak to him. And the other Dark Elf houses don't like the Drez much either. Convince the townspeople to work together. Then speak to Othral.
The three keep you, Traveler. Are you willing to risk heresy to save the soul of Ebonheart? The disciple of our tribunal temple has lost his faith. He says the three no longer speak to him. He sent me to pray for him at shrines to Olmalexia, Vivek, and Sothasil, just outside town. But I was driven away by a foul smell and angry Aelith. I don't know. The smell may have driven the beasts into a frenzy. Perhaps, if you'd be willing, would you burn these flowers at each shrine? If the three respond, tell Disciple Sildris. Perhaps that will restore his faith. I'll pray for an answer to your voice at the shrines. Praying for prayers. Perhaps Vivek will appreciate how circular that is. I don't know why Sildris thinks the three would abandon us. We have observed all the proper rites. These flowers, for one. Roland's tears, the rarest of the gold carnet and sacred to the three. It is a powerful offering.
Have you ever spoken with an Ashkan? They look right into your soul.
We want no trouble, Outlander. My injury doesn't keep me from stringing a bow. A Nyx hound attacked our caravan. He savaged my leg and carried off one of our guar. No. Lately we've sighted savage creatures in the wastelands. They're more than a match for our tribe's hunters. Great rewards await any hunter who can bring them to ground. The first is Varnog, a feral Nyx hound. The next is worse, Bliger, a vicious and territorial bullnetch. Worst of all is a clanfear named Gerlisk. He's the least vicious of the three, but look what he did to my leg. We met him on the road southeast of Ebonheart. Our best guess is he escaped from a goblin tribe, or ate them. He floats along the shore west of here. Do not ask me the origin of his name. I assume it stems from the way netches float through the air. Strange story, that. Summoned by an old conjurer who lived in the hills east of Kragenmoor. The conjurer died, but it stayed. No one knows why, and no hunters ever tracked it to its lair. We drove our guar here to trade. The Ashlands give our tribe many things such as food and shelter. They aren't as generous with medicinal potions or steel. Ha! Even if we would have the housemen, they wouldn't have us. They won't even let us within their walls to trade. We must stay outside, bedding with their animals. But because they're heretics, or because we are, whichever you prefer, we hold true to the faith of our ancestors, the worship of Azura, Boethia, and Mephala. They believe the three elders of their tribunal are gods. We know the truth. The so-called three are murderers and necromancers. Now? Here? No, I've already said too much. I have no love for the housemen, but my people need their wares. Ask someone else. My Lady Almalexia bids you carry a message to Disciple Sildrus. Ah, you are the child whose soul was stolen. My lady is concerned for you. Almalexia is the merciful healing mother of the Dunmer. She is the most beloved of the Tribunal. I am merely a servant and messenger of my lady, not a teacher or priest. Seek the temples and libraries to learn more. Perhaps in time, you may speak to Almalexia herself. The Tribunal does not abandon their people. Just as a parent shelters children from dangers they cannot comprehend, the three shelter the Dunmer from threats beyond their ken. Tell him that my lady is mindful of his doubt and fear. There is no shame in either, so long as he helps others bear their burdens. By helping others, his fears will be allayed. But if he spreads his despair, my lady will chastise him.
All who worship the Lord, Mother, and Wizard are welcome in Ebonheart.
I understand you were instrumental in crushing the Daggerfall army at Devon's Watch.
Honor for the pact, they says. Hardy ha ha, I says. What brings you to this god's-forsaken dark elf dunghole? The beer in this land is fit only for pigs. Good thing we brought our own. Have the elves asked you to help beat back the Covenant yet? To Sovngarde with them. Aye. The milk drinkers landed to the west at that big yellow tree thing. Now the Dres have got their skirts in a twist. Oh, please save us, big strong Nords. Fancy lads, the lot of them. They think Nords only exist to save elven asses. Bring them on. We don't skeever out of a fight. When we're attacked, we fight. I wager you think we should fight for the rest of the pact. All right. Prove they've got some backbone. Let's see you beat 3 of my men. and do it the Nord way. We fight drunk. We've got a keg of fine, strong mead from Riften right here. Pour yourself a mug and get to it. Unless you're too fancy, of course.
We perform an important service.
I signed up to guard these wagons for the money. And guarding's the only thing I take money for. You got that? Ha ha ha! You could only beat me if I was blind, stinking sober! And I'm not! This won't take long. You're tougher than you look. Some of the boys like to flirt with the elf girls. I don't know why. They're so little. There's nothing to them. Haha! You're clever, you are. Let's see how well you take a blow. Don't be timid. All right, you got me. Say, I'm not bad.
Good day. What are you drinking? Are you asking for a challenge? Shore's bones. I thought today was going to be dull. Try to put up a decent fight. Whoa, Saber Cat. Let's go back to drinking.
Well, you're not half bad, I'll give you that. I said I would, and I don't go back on my word. I hope the rest of the Pact fights like you, not that milk-drinking Urano. Ravel Urano, that dark elf here before you. He kept asking to buy our lumber so we'd leave town. I told him no, we had a contract to keep, but he offered to double it. No one pays that much for wood, even good rift spruce. What a skeever. Don't know and didn't ask. His story smelled like last week's fish. Whole time we were talking, he kept looking around for a crack to ooze through, sweating like. The boys ran him off with a few light cuffs to the head. He hasn't come back since. Right. Things like that. They're exactly why we keep to ourselves in the Elven lands. That and the bad food. Anyway, you're all right. Tell that fancy Othrol we'll fight. Come back and drink with us again sometime.
I appear at my lord's behest. Or perhaps I was always here, and you merely lacked the ability to see me. Vivek is a warrior poet, the ruthless and elegant soul of his people. He guides and protects all. Sharp of eye and tongue is he. Long is his reach. Longer is his spear. How can this question be on the lips of anyone in Morrowind? The sermons of Vivek are beside every bed. Vivek's psalms are sighed from every maiden's lips. His wisdom makes his people as hard, capable, and enduring as the poet himself. All know Vivek, for Vivek would have it so. Actions carry conviction better than words. A skilled poet arranges for others to be where they should be, when they should be, to fulfill his needs and desires. Yet the question Sildras asked was not the one in his heart. A man of poisoned words put doubt in Sildras' heart. He said the poet is less than he once was. Tell the disciple that Vivek's words and wit and way of war are as keen as always. What is Vivek beyond these?
The shrines are outside the city, north, southeast, and southwest. Vivek's shrine is across the river to the southwest of Ebonheart. Almalexia's is to the southeast. The shrine to Sothasil is on an island north of the Argonian Quarter. Burn the flowers at each shrine. They're a rare variety of gold garnet called Roland's Tears, and are sacred to the three. I pray they hear you.
I hope your arrival will prove a boon to Ebonheart. The residents are at each other's throats. Beyond, no one will work together. Each faction has a different reason. Which would you like to know about? I wish I knew their complaint. They refused to talk to us. I even went to speak with their quarters leader, Sarshajar. She accused me of plotting to kill a tree, as if I cared about such things. Our people love fighting, it's our nature. We fight the land just to survive. Only the Dunmer's natural superiority allows us to flourish in this wasteland. Lately, our people have been demoralized. Even disciple Sildras at the Tribunal Temple expects defeat.
Sun on my scales, welcome. You have seen my cousins in the Argonian Quarter, I hope? Are you asking if we're comfortable? None of us are comfortable outside Black Marsh. Too dry, too open, too bright. Still, at the moment, we're treated well and the history will soon be cleansed. Before I was here, I cared about the rain only when it fell on my tribe. Now I must worry about stone falls in this pact.
The reeds can bend to the wind, but I must not.
Welcome in the name of the Three. How do you like Ebonheart? I spent much of my childhood here, living with my mother's family. Some of my fondest memories are of playing with my father on the shore of the bay. I learned to fight with the troops in the square. In the wake of Balrus' rampage, it goes well. Seni will be rebuilt, and ash from the volcano will actually help the farms, at least in the long run. It's been hard, but Dane Seath will prosper.
Troll's blood, I was hoping you'd show up here. Kain blessed us with a victory at Ash Mountain, but we're still fighting those milk-drinking Covenant bastards. West of us, they've locked horns with Vivek's antlers, and I've heard rumors. A scout from the northwest border made it to the city, bloody and bruised. He said a force was marching on Fort Virak. If they take Virak, they're on the doorstep of Riften, up in Skyrim. Those dagger bastards. To Sovngarde with the lot of them.
Vivek, guide your steps, soldier. We're holding them. In some places, we're barely holding on, but we're holding them. But I wish I hadn't invoked the Brother of Strife. I do. I wish I hadn't been needed here. I should have aided the effort at Ash Mountain. The Brothers depend on old magic from another time. They have no place in Stonefalls today.
I must warn you, I'm in a foul mood.
Shall I dance for you, my lord? I've studied under many masters of the art. I'm sure I could hold your attention for hours.
I'll apologize now for what happens later.
You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait, that came out wrong. Look, empty rooms are just bad for business. The upkeep alone costs me more than the place is worth. But I think we can come to a sort of arrangement. And not the sort of arrangement that involves a few drinks. Let me be clear about that. I need someone to improve the reputation of my properties. A hero type who people look up to. And I have a feeling about you. You've done something great and are probably on the way to do something greater. Seems like we can help each other here. Yeah, all right. Details. I can see how this might be a bit sketchy, but don't worry. The inn room is well kept, conveniently located. I know you adventuring types wanting a home in every town. This would be a nice addition to your holdings. No catch. I just need someone to freshen up my image. And my gut tells me you're the one to do that. As long as you're not planning on turning it into a skooma den or an outlaw's refuge, the room is all yours. Oh, sure. You can set up some crafting stations, house your pets, display any treasures or trophies you've come upon in your adventures. Hey, you can even set up a target dummy to practice combat. Just don't demolish the place and we're good. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the deed and key to the room. Took me a while, but I finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more time in the sewers than I had hoped for, but hey, that's business. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation, I'm sure you shouldn't have any trouble with the neighbors. If you do, remember death threats are not the way to go. Had a spot of trouble when my last tenant started sending those out. Nope, just make yourself at home. Spruce things up a bit. Honestly, I can't wait to see how you arrange the place. Hopefully you'll end up with a few less Daedric shrines than another former tenant of mine. Like 0. 0's a good number. Oh, what a relief. I can't tell you how hard it is to wash bloodstains off of cobble floors. But that's not even the worst of it. I've had tenants cram their rooms with the wildest things. Mounts, foliage, assistants. I mean, it's an inn room. I own this and several other properties throughout Tamriel. It pays to diversify. Of course, that means I've got to look out for a variety of troubles, too. But hey, no one ever said the real estate business was easy.
Oh, I'm afraid you'll have to wait your turn, my lovely.
Do you mind?
Off with you, troll bait! You're ruining the show!
Speak! Wizard, mystic, master of the Clockwork City, an architect of time and a binder of oblivion, one who masters the tools that mastered others. Does this answer satisfy? Good. Seek. Learn. When you are prepared, find the master. He will be interested to hear your conclusions. All prayers are heard, not all are acknowledged. Every small cog drives a greater gear. Each is necessary, otherwise the whole collapses. When any cog shivers from the stresses on it, the master feels it, but the load he assigns it is no more than he knows it can bear. Wizard, mystic, master of the clockwork.
Another stranger swims into our wallow. I have no quarrel with you. We shall speak. But know that if you would help those trying to murder our Hist, I will speak with my teeth instead of my tongue. It's dying. It was never healthy. This isn't Black Marsh after all. So in the last few weeks, it's withered. We've learned that House Drez is poisoning it. It's not enough to have enslaved us for generations. Now they want to carve our hearts out. The best we can do is fertilize it. We're using mud crab meat wrapped in ash reed. Both are common around the quarter. We've also set guards around the tree to keep the Dunmer away. If you wish to aid us, gather the items I requested. Ash reeds grow in the tide pools in our quarter, and mud crabs thrive on the shores nearby. Gather some of each and present them at the roots of our Hist. Some of our people heard a dark elf talking to others of his kind. He asked if they'd seen the Drez rowing out to our Hist tree. He saw jars of poison in the boat. That's not hard to believe. Ravel Urano. My people overheard him at the inn. He was drunk and talking too loud. No one spoke to him directly. It's never been wise for an Argonian to confront a dark elf. Especially lately. We're far from Black Marsh. No, but it's not difficult to believe, is it? The Drez think we're little more than animals. But the Pact freed us. What they can't enslave, they destroy. The Drez have always regarded Argonians as little more than savage children. We needed to be civilized, so they uplifted us by putting us to work as slaves on plantations and in mines. No more. Now we speak beside them in the council. We are allowing no one to approach the Hist, especially strangers claiming they wish to help us. We just caught a dark elf trying to poison the tree. Your words smell fair, but tasting is proof. Let me see what you have there. Yes, I erect the spine of apology. While you were away, we caught a dark elf defiling our Hist. Please, apply the fertilizer you've gathered to the base of our Hist. As long as I'm with you, the guards will let you through. One of our guards is escorting him to my lodge. He seems half mad. He was doing something to the tree, and apparently he is of House Drez.
What do you want?
Let this one through. He's done. Meet me back at my lodge.
This isn't a good time.
It seems we have proof that the Drez are trying to murder our tree. While you were gathering mud crab meat and reeds, the guards caught him trying to harm our Hist. We can't get anything out of him but his name and house. Seems the rumors were true. House Drez is trying to murder our Hist. He was scratching at the bark, licking our tree. When the guard shouted at him, he dropped an empty bottle. Now he's very ill. The truth is as plain as the face of Masser. You may do as you wish, but his mind is boiling. His words skitter like a mud crab in a pan. You will gather no moisture from this one.
Don't take my shoes. My toes might grow into the earth. What did I do? What did it do to me? I see. I feel. I'm awake. I touched it. It smelled like flowers and black earth. It tasted like rain and summer wind and the deepest green. He said the tree's sap would be better than skooma. He was right. He said the Argonians might be angry. Do you think they're angry? To me, they always look angry. It's the teeth. He gave me the bottle, said it was for the tree. I thought it was skooma. I tasted it. It was bad. I fed it to a lizard. He didn't like it either. He died. The bottle broke. How can I fill it with sap? I never saw him before. I asked him for coin to get more skooma. He was a Dunmer. Someone called him Bravil? Weevil? Wabberjack? Ravil, that's it.
Ravel? I can't believe it. Ravel! Ravel Urano claimed he saw House Drez poison our history. Then he gave a bottle to this tree-licking waste of flesh. I smell worm scat. Someone has been playing us for fools, and I no longer believe it's House Drez.
I can feel the blessings upon you. It's a power I've not felt myself for many years. I see. I hadn't considered there might be threats more grave than the Covenant invasion. You would think, given all we know of the treachery of Cold Harbor, that I would see that. What of Sotha Seal? I am ashamed. The three have shown more faith in me than I have in them. I dread asking this, but what of Lord Vivek? Ha! Yes, I should have known. Vivek is the most subtle of the three. It's true, I've been counseling a Dunmer who questions his faith. He told me the Tribunal are losing their powers. Only indirectly. We see the three less every year. They no longer make their annual pilgrimage to Red Mountain on Vardenfell, and no one knows why. It all seemed so convincing when he said it. His name is Ravil Urano. He hasn't come to pray for days now. He was in such despair. I think he'd even stopped bathing. The last time I saw him, he smelled terrible, like fresh offal. What? Have I been a fool? I questioned my faith for the flimsiest of reasons and caused others to question theirs. I have much to do to correct my failure. I wish I knew why Ravil Urano's doubting words were so compelling.